Okay, folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier, Mike's Instant Movie Review. Fitting in, I guess you could call it a coming-of-age story of sorts. A young lady. Should you see the movie, should you not? I think it's a good movie to see. It's kind of what you might call a dramedy. A lot of big profile movies out. Why did this one catch my attention? Oddly enough, Emily Hampshire I've become a fan of. I never watched the show Schitt's Creek until recently, but I've discovered it, or whatever the fuck. I discovered it for me. I've heard of it. I never really liked the title of it. I mean, the title does make sense if you've ever seen the show. But Emily Hampshire basically plays Stevie, the motel owner, receptionist lady, who's, I think, very funny character. And very pretty, I might say, with her gothic makeup and stuff. And so in this movie, and I guess Schitt's Creek was on 10 or 15 years ago. Time flies. Here we are, 2024. In this movie, she's playing the mom. So she's playing a mother. She's not the star of this film. Her character is not the leading character. She's kind of a co-star. The lead is a young actress. I don't know if she's ever been in anything before. I say she's young. She looks like she's, in real life, still a teenager, the actress. She's playing, I think, a 16 or a 17-year-old young lady, high school student, who, spoilers, is basically got this boyfriend, but she's also kind of figuring out that she's got this physical, I don't know what you call it, a condition. And the initials, the acronym escapes me, but basically it means that she does not have a uterus, and her vagina is kind of not fully developed in the standardized way that we think of. So she's what you might say has these challenges. And so it's, her timing to discover is because she has yet to have a menstrual period, and she's wondering what the fuck's going on because all her friends are talking about all this stuff. She's on the brink of sexual activity with her Bobby boyfriend, and she goes to see the old gynecologist fellow, and he does some probing and some touching, and some revelations occur, and of course, that's our movie. So basically it's, the young coming of age stuff, augmented and further complicated, so to speak, by this physical situation this young woman's going through, which is a challenge. Okay, so there you have it. So that's the synopsis of the film. Do I think it's a good movie? I do. I think it's, a touching film. I did get into the theater a little bit late. I was kind of confused, I guess, or whatever the fuck. I know how to get to this goddamn movie theater. I was trying to do the old birds and stones thing, trying to run a different errand. I set my GPS to go to the theater and then the other place instead of the other place first, and then the theater. And by the, I realized this, and time is a precious thing. I know that the movies start basically 20 minutes after the allotted start time, because of all these previews and trailers. So I just figured I'd get there right when the movie's starting, and instead I got there probably 7 minutes into the movie. So I probably missed an opening scene, which I was able to fill in the holes. Basically, the young woman goes, I think her name is Lindsay, or Lindsay, goes to this meeting of people. I didn't see the scene, so I'm just guessing. She goes to this scene of a meeting, like a therapy group of people with, sexual crisis, body parts crisis. And there she meets this individual, this young person who has their own YouTube channel where they discuss their issues. A singular person with the they pronoun, pal. And that character factors in. So this young woman goes through all these, situations, as you'd expect with teenage kids. There's a lot of peer pressure and stuff, a lot of fear of what other people are thinking, trying to hold on to secrets, Bobby Boyfriend, who kind of has like a Bruce Lee, Ricky Steamboat look. He's kind of wondering what the hell's wrong with her. Does she not like him? You know, because she's the big part of this movie is, and it's understandable. She's 16 years old or 17 years old. She does not feel comfortable talking about this information with her mother or with her schoolmates, her friends, or her doctors, basically anybody. She's just not comfortable talking about this stuff. So, you know, and as a sympathetic audience member, we can all kind of feel that pain of not wanting to talk about things. And I think the filmmakers do a nice job of conveying that. And the angst of childhood. And like I mean, I don't say this all the time to random people, but since you and I are here, I often feel that the kids these days don't have it particularly easy, okay? I mean, I think that the kids these days don't have things easy because they don't. Because they're going through a lot of stuff, and you know, they have all these tribulations and trials and things that we're not aware of. And you'd think with modern technology things would get easier for kids, but instead it seems like it's gotten harder. That kids just have more troubles, and they just have more angst and more situations. So I don't know what else to say except it's sad, you know. Kids these days, I mean, I think this whole generation has had to grow up in the shadows of a pandemic, and some of these kids miss their fucking proms and their whatever the fucks because of all this masking and stuff, you know, and germs and viruses. I feel bad for them. So what can you do? But yeah, I thought the movie was good. I mean, I think we've seen a lot of these movies. We've seen a lot of, you know, teenage angst films with a teenage character who's got some type of issue, and then there's some type of sex involved, and, you know, crazy parents or single parents or whatever the fuck. So it's not like we haven't seen this type of genre before, but in this particular case, I wish, I can't remember, it's like something with an M and a P, like this exact condition. You know, this young character is going through a very specific thing, which is not terribly common. It's not uncommon either, but it's not, you know, it's not terribly common. So she's going through something that she, you know, she just has to deal with. And of course, the veil of secrecy, not wanting to share this information, not knowing who she can trust, you know, the kids in school, etc. All these things, you know. But the movie is handled, it sounds very somber the way I'm describing it, but there is quite a bit of levity, humor in the film. And they don't make this character out to be a saint either. I mean, she has her little outbursts like a typical teenage female. She's angry at her mother, you know, whose mom's just trying to help out. It's Stevie from the fucking motel. Come on, be nice to your mom. But she's got these little anger outbursts, and sometimes she's using a young man, a young fast food working guy, for sex, you know, because she is instructed that she has to use these medical tools to basically create a vaginal canal in herself. But she also is told that a penis would do. So she kind of drafts this unsuspecting Christian boy into her world. Great, now my fucking flashlight just went out, for Christ's sakes. What if I'm in an emergency? So she drafts this poor kid into this web, but, you know, he's getting some sex out of it, but he's confused because, you know, he's just a guy who serves hamburgers, and suddenly he's got this, you know, young woman fucking him, so he doesn't know what to do. Then she's going after the not the trans, but the they person, the person, the intersect person. She's romancing that individual, and she's got Bobby Boyfriend, Ricky Steamboat over here. So, I mean, for someone who doesn't have a fucking uterus, she's kind of a hustler, to tell you the truth. She's kind of playing the field, or fields, so good for her. And I don't know. I mean, it was a good movie. I mean, you know, the young actress, I like, you know, I mean, from my perspective, she probably was 16, 17, maybe 18 when she was filming this thing. Looks like she'll have a great future ahead if she sticks with the industry, so to speak. Because it's like I've always said, if you've been watching these reviews, she has to carry this movie on her own. Not carry it, but she is the star. She is the central character in this film. So I thought she did an admirable job. And that's it. So I mean, you know, all these big movies, the Aquaman 2 I haven't seen, Argyle I did not want to see. Friends of mine were seeing that film, and you know what? It's one of those movies where I saw the Argyle I'm discussing now. I've segued Argyle, seen the previews. It just reminded me of this movie maybe 2 years ago, 2 summers ago. Wasn't there a movie with like Sandra Bullock was a writer, and then her book kind of comes true or some shit, and there's like a mystery or whatever. I thought it was Sandra Bullock, and it was Tatum Channing, and then all these other assholes. So that was like 2 summers ago, maybe summer of 2022. So when I see this Argyle thing, and the Dua Lipa Dua, or whatever the fuck, very attractive woman. I've heard that she kind of steals some of her song beats, but I mean, she's very attractive. And she's in this preview where she's dancing around in this tight dress. So I watched this preview of this movie, and I'm like, it's just like the fucking Sandra Bullock thing from 2 years ago. And then it's got this goddamn cat, which I'm a fan of cats, but I don't know. And then it's like, oh, all these fucking famous assholes are in this movie. John Cena and this asshole and that asshole. Well, as you know, if you've cross-referenced, John Cena, you know, hasn't done well by me. I mean, I've offered to buy him a chicken sandwich at Hooters in North Carolina, but he hasn't taken me up on it. So I have no fucking precondition to go run off and see a goddamn movie. Oh, Samuel Jackson's in the movie. Well, Samuel Jackson's in 30 movies a year, folks, okay? So, I mean, you can stock up your goddamn movie cast with all these rich assholes who probably are just cashing a paycheck and working 2 or 3 days and telling each other how fucking fabulous they are. But from what I understand, see, I didn't go see the movie, and then I said, well, let me read a review, see where this movie is, and I think the Roger Ebert website gave Argyle a 1.5 stars, and it said that basically the actors, you know, like what's her face, also from Schitt's Creek, Catherine O'Hara, tries, like all the actors try, but it's just a weak script. It's just a cliche-ridden piece of garbage. So, you know, you're not going to pull my goddamn string and make me see a fucking movie that I just have a feeling is not going to be good, okay? I'd rather seek out something like this. It's a smaller fucking budget. You know, the biggest star is a fucking side character from Schitt's Creek 15 years ago. And it's more of a humane story, a human story, a humane story, okay? So, I mean, you're just not going to sucker me. I'm not a goddamn mark. I'm not going to go see every piece of shit Aquaman 2 or whatever the fuck. I mean, yes, I'm not opposed to big box office thrillers or whatever the fucks, but, you know, you have to be a little discerning, okay? I try to educate people. I try to tell them that. I always talk to assholes who say, oh, there's no good movies anymore. They're just making sequels. No, fuckheads. There's still good movies. There's just not good movie audiences, okay? Because assholes and imbeciles, no offense, but, you know, you might be one of them, are just sitting there watching the goddamn commercials. Oh, Argyle. Oh, Indiana Jones Part 5. Oh, this. But if you dig a little bit and you see that all these, you know, kind of independent movies are still in the theaters. There's still these story movies that are not sequels, that are not big box office dick fucks. You could go see a better movie if you put a little fucking effort into it. But most people do not. They don't put the effort in. They just kind of say, oh, all the movies are sequels, or they're Star Wars movies, or they're fucking comic book movies. No shit for brains. If you dig a little fucking bit deeper, you can see a wonderful story fucking movie like I just saw. But you actually have to put the fucking effort in. You know, like check the goddamn schedule, read the little bios of the movies, and then go see one. It's not that goddamn complicated. But basically what it is, folks, is people always have an excuse not to do something. They always have a reason at the ready to not do something. You know, people just they just want to say no. You know what I mean? Most times, most people don't want to do any goddamn thing. So any option you give to them, they will have an excuse. I mean, I don't want to drag people through the mud. But recently I was in a situation where people were providing a graphic, you know, of an event that's taking place, which I happen to be involved in. And the graphic had the name of the venue and the street address of the venue, but it did not have the city listed or the state. And I said, hey, look, you know, if you're going to circulate this thing online, if people don't see the goddamn city and the state, and the street is just like, it's this street name happens to be a very common street name, that just gives every asshole and an idiot, whether they're in driving vicinity or not, the basic thing of, oh, I don't know where that is, because they don't know what fucking city and state it is. So people don't put two and fucking two together. They're not going to do the goddamn research to figure out, oh, this happens to be in my city, I can go to this. Or, oh, this city's not too far away from me, I could make an effort to go to this. You have to, like, basically spoon feed the fucking public their applesauce, okay? I mean, that's how it works. You have to spoon people. Oh, here you go, here's your applesauce. Here's the name of the city. Here's a good independent movie. You have to treat people like infants, because at the end of the day, they'd rather be home Netflixing and chilling, or Twitter fucking, or whatever the fucking. They don't want to fucking live life. They don't want to go to the goddamn movies on a Tuesday night. They want to sit on their goddamn ass and, you know, be a goddamn zombie. So it's up to you, the intellects that are watching this, to take your little golden spoon and feed the public their applesauce. Here you go, public, here's your applesauce. Good little public. Good public, you ate your applesauce, idiot. I mean, that's how you have to treat people. I hate to say it, but that's what our society has become. Okay, folks, so that's it. That's your fucking movie review. Wonderful time at the theater. Yes, I was the only one at the theater. I could crack my neck. Oh, God in heaven. I could twist my spine. I could do everything I wanted in the theater without fear of retribution. And I had a wonderful goddamn time. So that's it, folks. Your buddy Mike Messier. I saw the film. I enjoyed it. I did not see Argyle. I saw this one, whatever the fuck it was. And I thought it was good. Good night. MikeMessier.com. Buy all my